Iconic brands like Apple, Harley-Davidson, or even OnePlus become iconic because of the kind of fan bases that they have. I'm sure you know a fanboy or a fangirl who swears by these kinds of products. But when winter comes in India, a different kind of fan base emerges. Old Monk.
Nah.
Old Monk is part of our journey of growing up. Remember when you were in college? Even if you don't drink, perhaps you heard of this brand. It's a part of culture, and I think it's a part of all of us growing up. However, the fan bases extend to just beyond plain drinking during winters. There is even a Facebook page called Comrade, Council of Old Monk Rum Addicted Drinkers and Eccentrics. And some of the rules are really interesting. You must be over 25 of age mentally and physically for your consumption of Old Monk. Over 70% of your total booze intake must be Old Monk in an alcoholic year. Such is the fandom of this brand. Let me show you more. Here you'll see fans posting memes, drink mixes, and even some personal stories. I mean, there are even stories of people in Jamaica posting how they're enjoying this drink. But Jamaica isn't the only country. Old Monk is exported to 16 countries globally. At its height, Old Monk had 8 million bottles sold worldwide, which made it the highest selling liquor brand made in India in the country. But you see, there's a problem. Old Monk, despite being an iconic brand, may actually face a shutdown. And this is the question we're going to answer in this video today. How can an iconic brand like this actually face almost bankruptcy? Way back in 1855, Edward Dyer started a brewery at the foothills of Kasauli. This is where he produced Asia's first beer, Lion Beer. Lion Beer was very famous with the British Army. It reminded them of a taste back home and was primarily produced for them. It was cheap and effective. This business then opened up 2 more breweries, one in Solan and one in Shimla. Now, after some time, another British entrepreneur by the name of H.G. Meakin bought this entire business. Now, many years go by, and after 1949, after India got independence, enters the hero of this story. Mr. Mohan comes in and buys a majority stake in the business and moves the headquarters down to Ghaziabad, Uttar Pradesh. And the brewery is called Mohan Meakin. Now, they say that a new generation comes and actually changes a business. In many cases, this is true. In this case, his own son, Ved Rattan, came in and introduced the dark run that we know today as Old Monk. It also had this vanilla texture, which a lot of other rums did not have. And mind you, this was back then when there were no other rums in the market. There's something interesting on the bottle as well. You'll see on all rums, not only Old Monk, it says XXX. Well, XXX actually denotes Roman for 30, which means RUM, and this is a legend, it says regular use medicine. Use 1 cap exactly from over here, pour it in a drink for 30 days to just feel better. Now, I'm not sure if this is a marketing ploy or if it is true, but people say rum was created originally as a medicine. This drink actually takes 7 years to mature in an oak barrel. And an interesting tidbit is that because those 8-10 million bottles were sold, it was not the Aam Aadmi which is only buying. It was the Indian Army. Now, I'm the son of a retired colonel, and I know how much a canteen trip means to army folks. They used to buy this, and there was another brand called Contessa. And because the Indian Army was such a huge purchaser of rum, it became part of culture. It also helped Mohan Meakin as a brand, as a company, to have significant sales which were continuous every year because it became sort of like a B2B business as well. But in 2002, everything changed. The rising disposable income of India started to happen. People had more money and they wanted choice. And advertising from other rivals such as Bacardi, United Spirits, and Radico Khaitan changed everything. Now, when this bombardment of advertising started, I think it changed everything. I mean, take for instance, by 2014, there was McDowell's, which launched their rum, and it did so well. By 2014, it sold 18 million bottles. And compare that with Old Monk, with just 3 million. Now, because this change happened, and we'll get into the reasons why, this marked the start of a 50% fall in Mohan Meakin's sale in their iconic brand, Old Monk. Not only that, Old Monk lost to its biggest competitor, Radico Khaitan's Contessa rum. And guess who? It is not a B2B problem. The problem was they lost the Indian Army's canteen, a huge purchaser of rum. Anyway, there are a lot of other things that contributed to the fall of Old Monk. One thing, for example, is that the entire market share of Old Monk is now less than 5%, according to this report. So what I'll do is, let's talk about the 3 things that contributed to its downfall, and you can tell me whether you agree to this or not. Now, it's very easy in retrospect to know what went wrong in a business, so we'll take the easy route and do that analysis. There are basically 3 problems. One was no advertising or marketing. The second was that there was no distribution, or there could have been a better distribution. And the third problem was that customers like whiskey more than rum. So let me start with the first problem over here I have, and that is no advertising. Now, Kapil Mohan is famous for saying this: "We do not advertise. I will not. And as long as I'm in this chair, I will not advertise." Now, this is fine from a brand values perspective because the word of mouth, no doubt, for this brand was high. But when other competitors, rivals, starts out-branding you, then it becomes a problem, especially when you see market share falling, your biggest customers running away. Even if it's a B2B brand with, say, the Indian Army canteen, you should do something about it. Maybe a good example is Sula. You should check this video out. We did an entire analysis about the Sula IPO. But Sula also did fests, and say Bira, for example, does fests as well. Some connection with an audience perhaps was important. You could stay away from advertising, but you could do some kind of marketing to connect with your users. Let's talk about the second problem. The second problem was distribution. Think about the last time you went to a small town somewhere in India. It could even be a village. I'm sure you would have found some tapri, chota sa kiosk, where you went and you found kaach ka bottle of Pepsi. Now, I don't think Pepsi's ingredients and their secret way to make Pepsi is what makes it great. I think it's the distribution. It's available in the smallest of the smallest towns anywhere in the country, and it's also available in a 5-star hotel. Distribution is a very big moat because imagine how that entire logistics has to happen. Now, when we take this and juxtapose it on, say, Old Monk, the entire Old Monk chain of logistics is owned by someone else. They don't own their distribution. So basically, they've given it out to third-party vendors who decide how to distribute it within, say, Uttar Pradesh or Rajasthan or wherever they own their territory. And this is a problem. You know, last week, I asked my friend Vikas, who's also editing this video, by the way, to get me some old rum. He went nearby to 5 different stores and couldn't find it. Now, this is an Old Monk's problem. The problem over here, probably to blame, is that vendor. Why isn't he making the product available when there is a buyer ready to buy it? So I think bad distribution plus bad marketing is the problem. The third issue is right here, right? Customers like whiskey more than rum. I think we discussed this in Sula as well. How do you create wine drinking culture? Similarly, how do you create rum drinking culture? So apart from not being available in certain places, which was the first and second problem we discussed, the issue is also that India has more whiskey drinkers than rum drinkers. Not surprising, right? Look at this chart over here, and you can see that beer has the most drinkers, then there's wine, there's whiskey, vodka, and then there's rum. Now, creating a rum drinking culture is a different brand issue altogether. If the customer doesn't prefer rum, no matter how good the rum is, you cannot grow, right? You can only grow as much as the industry is growing. Despite this entire fall, Mohan Meakin is still trying to innovate. In 2018, the new generation introduced flavored rum, I haven't seen these bottles anywhere, but they're trying to do something. Now you have to tell me, do you think Old Monk can become 10x, 100x of what it is today? If yes, what should they do to actually change that? Maybe the new generation will try. But it seems like, at least to me, nothing's changing at all. If you found this interesting, tell us what alcohol company or any other beverages company to cover next time, and we'll do it then. See you in the comment section. We read every single one of them, so please write something nice. This took a lot of effort, time to write, research, and produce. So if you enjoy it, say something good so we feel good as well. See you soon.